My goodness, this yard looks great. It looks incredible. Spectacular. Sure, there's some toys, but what's going on here? Can you tell? Can you see? Whoa! That does not look like it belongs. You know what that is? That's a clover flower. In fact, I haven't cut this small patch of grass for about 2.5 months. You can kind of see perspective how big it is. The reason I haven't covered it, or the reason I haven't cut it, is because it's all clover. Certainly there's grass in there. There's a lot of clover in there, and I've been wanting it to get extremely mature. So all summer long this has been growing. Now you see I've got 3 chairs here. I've had 3 chairs shading it all day today. Now I know that this is weird and all, but this is, I don't know, this is just where experience comes into play. When you try to kill weeds in the summer, you can't really do it with any product whatsoever if the temperature is hot. Now we've had 90 to 100 degree temperatures almost every day for 2 months straight. But today it's 85 degrees. It's not hot. I mean, it's warm. It's notably warm, but it's not hot. And I knew that it was going to be 85 degrees today because of, I don't know, your weather forecast. We all have apps on our phones. I knew this was coming. So last night, yesterday, it was 96 degrees outside. And I've been letting this go this whole time. Early this morning, when it was somewhere around like 57, 58 degrees, I set these chairs up knowing for a fact that at the hottest part of the day, these chairs would provide dappled shade to this little spot. And so this spot has never warmed up today. It's never gotten up anywhere close to 90 degrees. It hasn't gotten anywhere close to 85 degrees. It's been shaded. It's probably been in the upper 70s all day today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and apply a weed killer to this. Tomorrow we're going to be back into the 90s. And we're going to be back in the 90s for at least another week. But today is the window of opportunity. So I'm going to spray this developed, mature clover patch. And I'm not going to use a chemical, and it will die very quickly. I just want to show you that you can, in high temperatures, the high heat of summer, without using chemicals, if you know what you're doing, you can get any weed to die without using chemicals. Obviously, I'm talking about clover here, and I understand that it is early September, so it's like barely summer, but I don't care. It's been 90 degrees forever, and it's going to continue being 90 degrees, but today it's not. All right, for this experiment, I'm using the Natria product. Natria, this particular product, is a concentrate of iron heta, Fe heta, 26.52%. I recommend using a concentrate because you can kind of mix it into your own little spray bottle however you want. You could do like a backpack sprayer, or in my case, I'm literally just using a spray bottle. Like, this is literally how pedestrian this process is. If you've got a handful of weeds, this is all you need. Now, Natria is not special. I love you guys. I love your product line because I've used a handful of your stuff before. But I don't really care about Natria. You guys don't send me money or anything like that. There are other brands out there. Iron X comes to mind. Fiesta comes to mind. No doubt there are probably other companies out there who make iron heta products. It's all kind of the same thing. The concentrate gives you the flexibility to make it a little bit more potent if you want. So that's what I did. Although in this bottle right here, it's not actually really very potent. It's basically label rate. Iron heta should not be sprayed on any weed of any kind, like you could do on dandelions or clover or anything else. You have some medic in your lawn. I don't know, I probably got some medic somewhere in the lawn. Anything, whatever it is, you shouldn't be spraying it on the lawn over 85 degrees. And the reason for that is because the iron is chelated enough, or in, I don't know, the creative scientific way, to attack the dicot weed systems that we don't want in our lawn, but not the monocot grass systems that we do want in our lawn. point here is 85 degrees is about the cutoff for when this product starts damaging the grass itself and stops damaging the weeds enough to kill it. So, I mean, it'll damage the weeds in 90, 95 degrees, but it might not damage it enough to kill the thing off. Here, let's go look at my thermometer. Yeah, look at that, 83. And then this weed has been in the shade all day long, the shade of my chairs. Here's my cat. I've always got a cat here. They always show me their cat butts. So in any event, in the shade, it's not hot. It's gonna be hot tomorrow. It's been hot forever before. Hey, get away from that. We're gonna spray this down hard now. Now what I'm gonna do, this is not something that is on label. And I'm not telling you that you should do this. I'm literally just saying this is what I'm gonna do, simply because I got a lot of grass in here. I haven't cut this. I've been waiting to do this project for 2.5 months. So I've got a ton of overgrown grass in here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my concentrated iron mixed with water, and I'm gonna spray it on here. I'm gonna wait about 2 hours. In about 2 hours or so, it'll be evening, and I'm gonna spray it on again. Now, I don't normally do this, and I have never done this before, but I wanna make sure that I get enough iron into the clover to kill it off. And if I spray it a whole bunch, then it's just gonna bead and it's gonna roll down and it's not gonna work very well. But if I spray it once lightly and then come back a couple hours later after some of the iron has been absorbed into the clover and spray it again, I think it's gonna work pretty stinking good. Now I'm gonna give this, I'm gonna call it 3 days. That's my guess. Depends on how the next 3 days go. But in about 3 days, I'm gonna come and mow this down so that it's a little bit more of a normal height level for the rest of the lawn. And then I'm gonna give it 11 more days. I'm gonna put it up to day 14 and see if the iron kills it off. I am pretty confident that this clover patch is gonna be completely gone. Let me pan back so you can see where it is. All right, you see? There's my hill yard over there, garden. There's the patch, plum tree, the rest of the yard, and then we can go on. I'm gonna go ahead and spray it right now. I'm not gonna spray the cat though. I gotta get the cat out of here. Not that this is a chemical, but I don't want to stain my orange cat. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and move these so that we're well shaded. There's my shadow. Hi, hi. I'm gonna keep it shaded. It's still hot outside, it's still summer. In the shade you can barely see it, but there it is. Tall, fluffy, overgrown clover. Here we are 24 hours later. All right, now it's been 2 days. Let's get into the shade so you can see it better. At this point, a lot of the clover is really kind of curled up in this dingy gray color. Except for that one. I must have missed it. Even the flowers. Look at that flower compared to this one. Everything is dying. I still got it in the shade because we're still having really hot weather. But since 48 hours has passed, I'm going to grab my mower and give it a quick trim. This patch, I have not actually trimmed this patch in at least a couple months. I can't remember when I stopped cutting it. I've been cutting around it for a long time. think you can even see it randomly in videos that I published throughout the summer season. All right, it's been a couple extra days, I don't know, 2 or 3. I'll put the actual timestamp on the screen here since I cut it down. And you can see at this point we still have some clover. All of this clover that looks nice and fresh is pretty small because I hit this with a lawnmower a few days ago. So it probably was pretty darn low 5 to 6 days ago when I sprayed it with the iron. My guess is, as you can see, I mean, we got dead clover in there. There's a whole bunch of dead stuff in there. This new stuff, those were probably little teeny ones way down near the base. But there is a lot less of it now than there was. So I'm going to go ahead and spray this one more time and then put it behind my patio chairs to give it shade for tomorrow. And we'll see if I can get this whole thing to be completely dead in, I don't know, let's call it less than 10 days time. Here we go. Remember, 2 days ago it was 100 degrees. Yesterday was 95. Today was about 89. But I've kept this thing mostly in the shade of my chairs, just so that I could try to kill off this clover patch in the heat of summer without using chemicals. All right, today is day 8 of the project. It's September 11th. Never forget. But getting back to clover, we've still got just a little bit left, and I still would argue that what we're seeing in that little patch back there is the youngest growth that was closest to the ground that the spray isn't getting to because the grass is so thick. Let me show you. Today we're only up to 89 degrees today, and you see we've got new clover death in here. This is all the stuff that I killed off 3 days ago, or sprayed 3 days ago. But we still got a little bit left, a couple here on the fringes, there's a little bit in here. There's not much left. So I'm going to go ahead and take the mower, trim this down a little bit lower than I did last time. I think I'm going to cut off a lot of the grass and expose some of the smallest last remaining bits of clover and give it one more spray. All right, where'd that clover patch go? You guys don't normally see me without a hat. I'm all sweaty and disheveled. You can't see, you can't tell because it's all gone. This is day 10. It's September 13th, and I don't know, after a handful of rounds of spraying the chelated iron onto the spot and trimming that patch all the way back down, it's gone. So this right here is the spot. It's right there in the sun, just coincidentally in the sun. Here we go. This is the spot. In fact, if you look really close, you can see some of the dead clover in there, just a little bit. There's basically nothing here. Now, I'm not going to guarantee you that 100% of that thick patch of clover is gone. Most likely within the next week or two, I'm going to see some random leaf popping up somewhere. Look at that. There's one right there. Right there. Most likely something is here. I don't care what product you spray on a thick, mature patch clover, something is probably going to come back, because the simple fact of the matter is no matter what you spray, like if you go way down, there's always probably some sort of tiny little plant way at the bottom that's still growing, and when you spray on it, your spray, no matter what the product is, doesn't get down there to kill that plant off. So if anything else pops up over the next couple weeks, I'll give it a light spritz with my iron product and kill it off for good. In another day or so, I'm going to trim this area. It doesn't look any different, but it is. This area right here is still cut about 1/4 of an inch higher than the rest of my lawn. So probably tomorrow I'll trim this back down. I need to sharpen my lawnmower blades. You can see that things are starting to fray a little bit as I trim this lower. But that's a topic for another video. In fact, I've got a full video about sharpening our lawnmower blades. I could link to it up here, but I'm not going to. I'm going to link to it in the description below. I'm also going to link to the concentrated version of iron Hitta that I use in this video down below, along with a couple other alternatives. What I do want you to understand is you don't need to use chemicals to kill weeds in the lawn most of the time. Some weeds you probably do. You're not going to dig them out of the ground with your hand. But you also don't need to use synthetic fertilizers in the lawn either. In my own lawn, and you'll see, I mean, there's basically, this is a beautiful looking lawn. There's not hardly any problems with this lawn whatsoever. And I don't use synthetic fertilizers. I only use organics. We're talking like 99% of all of the products I put into this lawn that you see behind me here, wherever it is, or all of this lawn back here, this is all organic, natural products. If you want to learn a little bit more about the organic products, the ingredients that go into the organic fertilizers, then make sure to watch this video up here. I'm not really talking too much about what fertilizers you should be using up here, just trying to educate you on the ingredients that go into them.